Here are the 3 books that I feel you must have on the law of attraction to get you to work it properly. And not only that, but also keeping it very simple and practical, and also loaded with testimonials to show you, if done properly, these techniques work. Ready? Roll it. Hello, and thank you very much for joining me. My name is Jason, and this is Divine Alchemy, where you are the creator of your reality. So today I want to talk about 3 books that I feel to be pretty imperative when you're trying to figure out how the law of attraction works. So I know that there's a lot of books, videos, and it can be a little complicated when someone's first trying to get into the art of manifestation. And again, manifestation really is nothing fully magic. I mean, it is magical, but taking the mysticism out of it or demystifying it, it's basically aligning your thoughts with a certain future outcome that, according to quantum physics, that every reality that you can think of already exists. It's already a matter of you, or only a matter of you aligning to that frequency and mindset first, and to feel it and embody it in your mind and body, and then letting the natural progression of steps unfold in order for you to achieve that goal or manifestation of your desire. So with the first book that I want to talk about, it's a pretty phenomenal one. I've read it a few times. It's The Divine Matrix by Gregg Braden. And I really like a lot of Gregg Braden's work. He has a lot of testimonials, and he does a lot of research within the scientific foundation, because he is a degree geologist, so his strong background is in the earth sciences, but he has a great understanding of how to test things repeatable into the scientific realm, and that's very important, that you need to have things that are repeatable, but also a strong foundation within the scientific aspect, but then also the spiritual aspect, to demystify on how our mind and body works, to learn how to self-empower ourselves, because we could fall on the path of victimization. We get stuck in that, and therefore that becomes our new status quo in our subconscious mind, which we have all the power internally if we just know how to work that properly. So that book really talks a lot about the atomic structure, how energy works, how quantum physics works, and how to bridge that into the spiritual realm, because if you really think about it, everything is energy. Your thoughts are nothing but energy as well too. So if you are thinking at a certain vibration, that's exactly what's going to affect your outer reality and bring it into your space. And it happens very unconsciously, that if you are thinking negative thoughts all day, well, your body is the unconscious mind, so it's basically going to start searching for things that you may not even realize that you're aware of, and so therefore you run into crappy people, crappy situations, places, and so forth and down the line. And then I hear all the time, why do these things happen to me over and over and over again? Well, I ask the question, well, what was programmed in your mind as a little child, or did some sort of mental programming get into your subconscious mind that's now running your life? So that book really talks a lot about how you can change your mindset and then affect your outer reality through the talks about quantum physics, and he also goes into explain about the double slit experiment on, if you observe something that, if the outer reality can be affected on how you observe something mentally. So therefore, in the double slit experiment, it happened like, wow, how is this happening? And they realized your observation of reality affects what happens in your outer reality. So there's a lot of cool testimonials and a lot of miraculous things that he talks about in his book, and there's a lot of peer-reviewed information that he dives deep and researches too, because when you're looking for information on this topic, you want to make sure that it's a credible source, because you got 100 books out there that, oh, this stuff works, but where's the testimonials? where is the actual foundation of how these things work? And that's where sometimes these things can become kind of cheesy, where they tell you all these cool little techniques, but where is the proof? So that book really covers that in a lot of depth. Really phenomenal stuff. And also check out his other books as well too, which are really great. So with the second book that I want to talk about, it is the Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And this is a really great book. What makes it really unique is that it's a very practical book. And Dr. Joseph Murphy, I believe, came from Ireland and then became a chemist. So he has a solid foundation within the sciences, again, of how scientific protocol works. But the cool thing about this is that he keeps his techniques very simple, and that it is loaded with numerous amounts of testimonials that will get you to believe that if you just rewire your mind or your subconscious mind in the right pattern and within the right techniques that work best for you, that it will make your life a lot easier. But again, there's certain affirmations that are suggested in the book that are really simple and very pragmatic, which again, when you are doing this law of attraction stuff or manifestation, you want to keep things very simple at first, because you want to build your faith in that, oh my God, I just manifested this thing and it happened in a way that I least expected. And that's how it works. You don't want to really focus on how it's going to happen. That is not your job. So that book does a great telling of how those processes work. And two, you could also probably look up on YouTube. There's free audiobooks on there as well. So again, if you're on the go, you can listen to that book. And then so for the third one and last book, it's actually a compilation. It is the Power of Imagination by Neville Goddard. And if you are not familiar with Neville Goddard's work, I highly suggest you look this man up. He is probably one of the most magical when it comes to the art of manifestation, because he believes that the God power or the Christ power is your human imagination, and that he goes on to talk about in his lectures that name me one thing that hasn't been created with the imagination. It's pretty much everything. And where does that information come from? It doesn't come from without, it all comes from within. So he's a big believer in the fact that all the power or Christ consciousness or God or higher power, it's all within you, giving you the signals. So if you can dimensionalize it in your mind, you can put it in your outer reality. And again, too, he has a lot of amazing and almost, I would say, insane testimonials of people, healing themselves of these incurable diseases, manifesting all sorts of money. There was even the famous ladder technique that he gave to his followers in his lectures. And people will just be dumbfounded that, oh my God, I just actually manifested this event to unfold. And so therefore he keeps it very simple too, but he gets pretty a little bit mystical, but that's perfectly fine, because it just adds into his charm and also his suaveness when he speaks. He's very charismatic. If you look up some of the stuff on YouTube and his lectures, very, very profound stuff. So it's pretty awesome. Oh, and a matter of fact, too, that Dr. Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard had studied under this rabbi named Abdullah that was showing them how your inner power affects your outer reality. So he would give them these techniques, and at first they're like, all right, so I just go to bed and envision that this outcome has happened. Like, that sounds really silly. Like, envision that it's already here and now, because Neville, in one of his famous stories, is that he wanted to go to Barbados, but he didn't have the money. So his friend Abdullah was like, okay, you are in Barbados. And Neville was like, I'm in Barbados? He's like, yes, you are in Barbados right now. And Neville was like, that's incredibly silly. So he tried it out, and lo and behold, he miraculously got a ticket for, I believe, a cruise liner to go to Barbados. And he was like, oh my God. So he goes up there, and the person at the checkout line or the check-in line was saying, hey, you're going to be going third class, and then once we stop at this port, you'll go to first class. So he goes back to his friend Abdullah, who's giving him these teachings, and he was actually kind of rude about it, but he was doing that on purpose to get him to stop using his analytical mind, like just trust the process. It's like, he goes to Neville, he's like, all right, who told you that you were going third class? You were going first class, and this is basically the end of this discussion. He just basically slams the door in his face. And so he's like, all right, fine. And then comes time to actually go to the ship and port and, you know, go off to his cruise. He realized, or the person that was checking him in said, hey, Mr. Goddard, we had a cancellation, so now here's your first class ticket all the way to Barbados. He was like, oh my God, this stuff is insane. You know, it truly works. So if you believe in the process and understand that it's not the external things that we do that get you the manifestation, which, yeah, it can. Like, you know, you follow step A, B, C, and you get your manifestation, but it's going to be a lot harder. So if you program it into your mind and you feel as if you have it, you start coming from more of a place of inner flow, which then the process starts happening more natural. And that's the key thing, is Neville is very big on making things very natural. If it doesn't really feel natural, then switch up the technique or the manifestation a bit in order to get you back on that timeline for you to succeed in what you want. So yeah, it's just very incredible stuff with how he teaches his sermons. So I highly suggest you look all three of them up on YouTube. They also have phenomenal books. And the thing is that just keep this process very simple. Start small. I'm pretty big on, you know, doing vision boards, or start off, I mean, I would carry a note card in my pocket with a certain, you know, amount of income that I wanted to be financially free. So I wrote it, I want to be financially free. And then within 6 months later, I had an opportunity, or have the opportunity that I was able to become financially free in order to focus more on the YouTube channel and other adventures that I want to do as well too. So again, it just takes time. Do not figure out how it's going to happen, because then you're limiting yourself. There's infinite ways on how this stuff happens and it works. Just a matter of building the mental fortitude in your mind and just taking it one step at a time. And it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, certain things can, don't get me wrong. But again, yeah, check out those 3 books. It is loaded with lots of testimonials, really great stuff to get your mind on the right track, to stop analyzing, you know, how things are going to happen. So again, if you like my video, please hit the like button, and also hit the subscribe button as well too for future content to help you empower yourself on your journey of manifesting the life that you truly want. And again, thank you very much. Blessings.